Okay, what's up, beautiful people? Today we're back with another episode of Getting Crazy with Crazy Wills. Today we're doing things a little different. Usually I drop the guests down and let them introduce themselves, but I'm doing this all by myself, so she's going to be right there, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you what she does, and we're going to get right in the conversation.
Hi, so my name's Tiffany Pearson. I call myself Adaptive Paintings. I am a spinal cord injury survivor who's been painting by mouth for about the past 7 years. And my artwork includes acrylic paintings done with a paintbrush in my mouth. And I have learned to adapt to become the artist I am today, and that's why I call myself Adaptive Paintings.
Yeah, they're actually amazing art too. I was looking at it, I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I've been trying to get you on the podcast for a while, and we finally made it happen. So how did you finally figure out that you could paint with your mouth? Were you painting before or after? Or is it something you always done and you just adapted?
A really good question. So before my car accident I was in 2017, I was artistic, but I never really pursued it as a career or an opportunity that was something I could make income from. And so, yes, I did art. I drew and painted a little bit. I wasn't too good at painting, honestly. I'm better at painting with a paintbrush in my mouth than I ever was with my hands, which is interesting. Uh,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah. And as far as how I found out and like learned about it, honestly, I was in so my car accident was in Texas, and I was in rehab hospital called Tier Memorial,
Okay.
and they had like a occupational therapist
Yeah.
working with me, and she just asked, kind of like uh, what I like to do, and I was like, well, I really love art, and she's like, you can still do that, just you'll have to try with a brush in your mouth. And I was like, oh, okay. And so the very first thing I ever painted was a rose, and it was horrible. It really, it was really bad. Um, but uh, then from there, the more I painted, the better I got, and I still am working on trying to improve like shadows and shading and stuff. So I'm still definitely learning.
What?
But
Go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
What was the hardest, the most challenging part from using your hands to your mouth?
Hmm. Probably talking with a paintbrush in my mouth.
Yeah, my ex girlfriend used to paint with her mouth, and she's passed on now. But even when
Oh.
she was painting with her mouth, it was even hard for her to talk. So I guess with the paintbrush in her mouth, and she could never do it. She just like hum or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you mean. Okay, so. How did you learn how to talk? Was there a special technique that you use, a special way you put it in your mouth, or is it just people learn what you're trying to say with the paintbrush in your mouth?
Uh. Well. Well, I kind of just people just get used to having to, listen, and I might have to repeat myself. But the more you paint and assist me with it, as like I'll need the paint put near me or squirted out or whatever, but the more you assist me with painting, um the easier it is to probably understand. It's
Oh,
just a little mumbly. But actually, I put the paintbrush solely on the right side of my mouth, and I think I don't know if it's like a brain thing or what, because before my accident I was right-handed, and now I like to say I'm right-mouthed
oh
because I
wow.
always put it in the right side of my mouth.
Yeah. So, what was the hardest part to figure out how to move your mouth when using the brush? How long did it take you to figure that out? And what did the adaptations look like? How long did it take you to adapt to painting with your mouth? And what products or what things did you use to get to where you're at now? How did it start out?
Well, like I said, I started in just the hospital. And then I actually was temporarily living in a nursing home for like 2 years. I was on a ventilator. And I was working with their like recreational department, and they had volunteers come in, and there was this one individual artist who here in Omaha, Nebraska, was very successful. Came in and volunteered his time once a month to painting with me. And he was the one that really inspired me to make it an actual like career versus just a hobby that I enjoy.
Awesome.
And he became my mentor for about a year. He worked with me once a month, coming in, volunteering his time, and I learned a lot of techniques from him, and I really am appreciative for his time that he offered.
That's awesome. So, what kind of techniques did he teach you? And what did it look like to learn new techniques? Like, if somebody wants to get into it, what's the first thing you need to learn? What's the number one thing you need to take away before you start?
Well, I would say that your eh, basically patience, I would say, has a lot to do with it for me at least, because it takes a lot of patience to paint with your mouth because I mess up all the time and I get frustrated, honestly. And so I have to go back and fix things that I messed up. And I have like muscle spasms, so sometimes I'll like put a dot somewhere on accident. But I would say that anyone that's looking to get into painting, whether you're wanting to paint with a paintbrush in your mouth or by hand. Um, just don't be too hard on yourself if you make a mistake. That
Yeah,
yeah.
just go ahead and do it. Just
Yeah.
move that mouth, and you never know what you can discover if you just try. I know it takes a while to get a career. And how did you figure out that you could first make it a career? How did that come about?
Well, honestly, so the first time I ever did, so I do a lot of arts and crafts shows here in Omaha and the suburbs. And the first one I ever did was at a church. And it was just a small church and just was trying something new. Um, and it was not very good. I didn't sell anything. But the experience itself, going and setting up and doing just introducing myself was kind of a way to get my foot in the door of how like tiptoeing how into making it what it is now, and what I would love to grow and keep doing. I started there, and uh that small church venue, now I've done 2 years of the Omaha Summer Arts Festival, which
Awesome.
was went on for 50 years here It's huge. It's a 3-day event. And I was very successful and very happy with, having to be a part of that event and just doing other events. So, yeah.
How did it feel whenever somebody was watching you for the first time paint live? Like if people are at an art show, how did it feel when somebody was watching you do it for the first time in real time?
It in some ways it felt a little awkward just depending on the person that was watching me, honestly. Um, you know, sometimes I felt like very honorable. They would be very awed and oohed, and that would be really it it feels good. Feels really good, for people to admire the
Yeah,
artwork that I do. Um, Sometimes, honestly, it's funny. Sometimes I paint stuff that I don't necessarily think I did a very good job at, and other people really enjoy and look like really like a painting that I don't care for myself. It's funny.
that's
Um,
well, artists are. My sisters are also artists, so sometimes the artists can be a little critical of themselves because they
yeah,
see all the mess ups and where they mess up, and how it came about. So yeah, I can see how that could be.
yeah, exactly. I'm probably hard on myself.
Yeah. So is this something you do full time for a career now? Is this how you make money, or you have other art that you do on the side as well?
So, this is currently I really only work part-time, but I basically do this as a side gig um uh, to my daily weekly job.
Awesome.
And I'm currently growing it into what it is, going to be in the future, which is just myself, hoping to sell as much art as I can and get my name out there. So
What
it's
is
just
your? Oh, I'm
small
sorry.
business.
Yeah. What is your vision for the future? Where do you hope it goes, and what's your plan?
Well, honestly, I'm trying to grow my online business. I have a website, adaptive-paintings.com, and I have Instagram and TikTok. I'm really trying to focus on growing my online revenue versus my in-person, just because I've had a couple health issues and surgeries the past like couple months that haven't went the best, unfortunately.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and so I went from doing art shows every single month as revenue to unfortunately not being healthy enough to. Now I'm back at being healthy.
That's
Think
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think very thankful for that.
So
Um so I'm hoping to continue doing arts and crafts shows, but mainly growing my online um business. So
awesome. So what is the number one thing that you think you've taught other people in the midst of painting, and what do you think your paintings have taught you about yourself?
that's a very good question. Uh I would say that it's taught other people maybe just that even though you can experience something in life that's a little unfortunate, like a car accident, that you're still able to do, you know, something that's meaningful and create
Yeah, that's awesome.
change with it. Yeah.
Awesome. So, how do you get your ideas for your paintings? Do you have visions? Do you do clip art? Because I know I did design my own tattoos. So, what I do is I put clip art together. I tell the artist what I want to do, and we kind of work it out together. So, being a you do it yourself, How do you come up with the idea for your paintings? Is it thoughts? Is it visions? How does that work?
Honestly, sometimes I just come up with the idea, like, I just feel like painting a peace sign or something. But a lot of the times, since I like to paint nature, it's places I've been. So I went on vacation in Colorado and being up in the mountains there, or uh, maybe when I went to South Dakota. So
Awesome.
going places, it's often like that. But sometimes I'm just painting with colors and something that wasn't anything turns into something else.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I was gonna ask next. Have you ever had a muscle spasm or something happen, and you're like, "Oh, that looks cool. I can make that part of the picture."
yeah, yeah, no, totally.
That's cool.
Exactly. That's definitely happened.
That's cool. So, what do you like? You say you like to paint nature. So, is that what you mostly paint is nature? And when you paint, how hard is it to mix the colors and get the right color combination that you want? And what kind of help do you need to do that?
So I do paint nature often. It's not the only thing I paint. I also do like I would say it's I do abstract, but they're more mood also paintings where I like to do an ombre effect from one color fading into the other color on canvas. Um, so I would say mood, abstract, and nature are my primaries. Uh,
Awesome.
and then as far as mixing the colors, uh, I don't feel like I struggle. I think I do a pretty good job with being able to get the shading and coloring that I want. And the only assistance that I really require is someone squeezing out the paint into the dish for me. And I mix my own colors into the paintbrush as I need there.
That's awesome. So how does that work when you mix the paintbrushes into the paint? Because I know my ex-girlfriend had to have help doing that. Like she had to take it out of her mouth and they had to mix it up for her. So how do you do that? That's amazing.
Uh, yeah, no, I just have them hold it in front of me, or I have like a canvas easel with a stand that um has the option of holding it also. And I just kind of move it around in a circle
That's awesome.
with my mouth and then mix it. If it's like like going to be a minute and a lot of mixing, I might ask my friend to help me mix it up, but that's rare. I normally like to mix the colors myself because I can be a little picky of exactly what kind of shade I'm looking for.
Yeah. So do you have other friends that paint as well, and do y'all paint together?
Actually, at this time, I don't. Um, I have other artistic friends who do different types of art, whether like I have a friend that does like pouring, acrylic like pourings with I think
Oh, cool.
it's like what is it? Oh, I'm drawing a blank of what it's called. Um, but she does like pourings, and so it's not necessarily painting. But
Oh,
it's still artistic, and I have crafty friends that go to these art and craft shows also.
that's
Uh, and I also have photographer friends, but no, no, not at this time. I don't have any friends that paint with me, unfortunately.
that's awesome. So what kind of painting are you working on right now? Anything cool? Anything interesting?
Yeah, so I actually am working on aspen trees and like a mountain meadow painting that is new. It's just like a group of trees and it's going I would say it's like fall, very fall vibes.
Awesome. As I wrap this up, I got a few other questions. What have you learned about yourself through painting, and how did painting help you get through your car accident or whatever happened? And has any paintings come out of what you went through?
Yes. So what I've learned from myself would be that I have a lot of strength. Um, a lot of strength that I probably didn't know I had, and and it took being through something like the car accident, and growing into the artist I am now, that I feel like it's really gave me a lot of hope to really make this bigger than it is now. So, I don't know. Just basically, I've inspired myself to keep having hope to inspire other people.
That's awesome. And I want everybody to know listening that you can have hope and you can go through things, and everybody has their own way of doing it. So you just got to find your own way to go through something and find your own way to be creative, whether it be painting, whether it be poetry, whether it be music. We all have something that we can use to be creative. And she is really showing that no matter what she went through, whether it be a car accident, she turned something that could have been negative into something positive, and now she's changing people's lives probably all around the world, I guess, because you sell it online as well.
Yeah, yeah, I try to reach out to everyone online the best I can, and yeah, exactly. It's a community.
That's awesome. Well, it was good talking to you. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we stop the interview and stop the recording?
Well, if you have any questions about my artwork, you can go on adaptive-paintings.com, or I have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's just Adaptive Paintings, and my name's Tiffany Pearson.
Yes, and
And
I will add all the links in the descriptions to this video on YouTube and all that stuff. And it was nice
yeah,
talking to you.
yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
Thanks.
I rock like pebble, jump from your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please set in stone like rock, raw. I came with a brand new book. Like man, have guys all shot, don't like Uzi, but this thing rocks, rock. Aye, I know you wanna hear some hi hats, tick tack to the top. Matter of fact, play that bass, don't disgrace, let it embrace. I know you like this new taste, lit, don't let it go to waste. Yeah, could come clean like Mark. Aye, see this thing rocks. Man had a dreadful year. That's the reason why I cut off my locks. God tested me just like mocks. The caves where I trap like war. Man's murking this just like storms. I don't even like my veg while you talking round me about porn. Gang. If you're mad, say it with your chest. I'm really trying to check me. I'm trying to see where you're on so I know that you're off. You might as well start, just press play. And I'm quite cold, coming like a virtual cough, cause you're on the other side of the phone. If I don't like the bass of the pitch of your tone, I'll tell a man leave me alone. Gang. I rock like pebble, jump from your sheet, you hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please